Hello, my name is Fawn Annan. I'm the CEO of IT World Canada, a 35-year-old B2B publishing house now transformed into a digital media business, ITWC, the content experts. Publishing was one of the first industries to feel the disruptive impact of the digital forces that are continuing to reshape delivery and business models today. Though we remain the #1 IT B2B publisher in Canada because we command the largest database of IT purchasers and have AAA clients, we are classified by Stats Canada as an SMB company. We have 50 full-time employees and hire a multitude of contractors. It's been almost 8 years since I and my business partner, Jim Love, began our digital transformation journey. When we first plunged into changing the business model, we didn't see this as undertaking a digital transformation. We were simply operating in survival mode and knew we needed to rethink what we were doing, and fast. How to change? There were no maps, no guidelines, no best practices, not even a simple case study to guide us. This was uncharted territory. We took notes along the way over the 7 long years it has taken to write the business. Recently, we decided the lessons we've learned might be valuable to others. So, we co-authored a book that captures this journey to date. It is a labor of love, and it's called Digital Transformation in the First Person. It's not an academic read. It's a frank recounting of the situation, where we are being as objective as possible, detailing the pains and some of the gains we have accomplished. The story is ITWC's kimono opening, putting on full display all our trials and tribulations. This makes us somewhat vulnerable, but we are doing this because we want to share our journey and our findings. Our hope is it will help you have an easier journey. Although our industry is media, our lessons and disruptions can be applied to any type of industry. But our disruption started with our print products. There was a time not so long ago that more than 70% of our ongoing monthly revenues were generated by advertisements in print. In this legacy world, we knew our costs, our allocations, our editorial schedules, our contracted sales, and our incremental buys. With the introduction of the internet and the ability for companies to target niche audiences, the advertising model we were using in the information technology B2B space was basically obliterated in Canada by 2011. It happened fast. It wasn't like we weren't watching the fall of print around the world. We saw it becoming a smaller pie, but in the US, it remained a profitable undertaking. In Canada, we had advertising clients that were acting ahead of this curve, as they were offices that were sales-driven rather than brand-driven like their American counterparts. So ROI had to be clearly articulated. And print audits were failing to offer the level of detail on audience demographics and reader habits that the internet, even in the early data analytics programs, could reveal. Before going any further, I want to start the deeper conversation about digital transformation. Everybody has a different definition. Based on our experience, digital transformation is not about simply taking a product and digitizing it. Uber didn't disrupt the taxi industry because it had a digital app to call. We didn't understand that at first. We thought simply digitizing our main product was the answer, and we created a digital magazine to replace our print magazine. We understood it wouldn't generate the same revenue, nor have the same readership levels, but we did expect it to protect 50+% of our revenue. We were wrong. In the first 4 months following the change, we maintained 60% of lost revenues, but after that, it plunged to 20% and fell away again. If we were going to survive, we needed a better understanding of why this didn't work. Our research revealed the magazine revenue changes were prompted by 2 things. The novelty of a digital magazine had worn off. The second answer held the key. Our customer experience was flat, from the advertiser to the reader. After identifying the problems, we started studying business cases. This included me taking an executive MBA to gain more insight. What we discovered was that you can't re-engineer legacy models to make something different. We also learned that changing a product for another is still not requiring a full rethink of your business model, as in a full digital disruption. There are no known models for your business. It's very much what Albert Einstein said: the best way to predict the future is to invent it. In this scenario, old rules don't work, and new rules have not yet been written. Unlike a digital initiative, a digital transformation does not end. The story keeps rolling out even after you've created a new type of business based on new processes, products, people, culture. So, in this story, you're either a canary in a coal mine or a voice from the future. You decide. In our case, being a private corporation with a minority shareholder, IDG, that happens to be the largest publisher worldwide, how does a responsible executive go to a board meeting and say, I'm just going to stop print, which has in good years represented 70% of our revenues, and become a digital media company instead? Well, my business partner, Jim Love, and I, being the majority shareholders, did just that. At this moment of time, the print bills were 90% higher than sales revenues. It was a hard choice, but being smaller than our US, UK, and German counterparts, there was little choice. We had to burn those ships. As we're looking to pivot, we did not consider this a digital transformation. To have the courage to survive, we took instruction from famous business stories. In retrospect, we now see we were being disrupted as early as 2000. The signs were there. But being more creative operators than visionaries, we didn't pay close enough attention. The reports we were generating were not reflecting economic disruptions, specifically in customer behaviors. As we began our examination of missing revenues, we clearly recognized the new pattern of how deeply woven the digital economy had become. Armed with that insight, we placed our faith and our money in a new business focused on digital marketing services. I had personally tried it before in 2005 and failed. Our technological competencies, coupled with an accelerated sprint of unique applications and platforms required, were simply unaffordable to a mid-sized Canadian-focused business. But now, with this idea, coupled with Jim's technological and strategic abilities, we built a solid business plan. We were now more confident we could survive and thrive in the new digital age. But our story is not only a story about digital transformation. It's about technology, culture, leadership, and publishing. Though the context is set in the publishing industry, it relates to all businesses. Digital disruption is about new business models facing off against old business models. And remember, transformation is not an end. It remains a continual process for an active business. Here's an example. You're a software or hardware company, perhaps both. You're a legacy brand. You are used to selling in volume and paying your reps large commissions. Suddenly, client preferences change, and clients want more of an as-a-service model. Guess what? You've just been disrupted. You will need to find a new model that works for your people, for your business, based on your customer set. And that's pretty much what happened to IT World Canada. Going along making money on the biggest IT print brands, when suddenly our clients had a multitude of new options. After cutting out 60% of full-time staff, we canvassed our customers and realized there was a much bigger opportunity in digital, in the internet. It wasn't editorial news, but it was digital commercial content. Over the next 4 years, we began to experiment with everything: processes, products, services, using data differently, collecting data differently, reporting to our clients differently, monitoring our readers, with permission of course, differently. We tried to design what they wanted versus what we thought they wanted, because it was how we always did it. To be honest, the first years of the revamped company were very tough. When we completed our investigation, we finally understood our declining revenues was a failure to prove our own value. And so the question became, what is value? The understanding of that value can be found in the answer posed by 3 questions. What are you passionate about? What can you beat the world at? What are the metrics that drive your economic engine? The intersection of your passion and areas of greatest ability establishes where you can create value, aka passion and purpose. So, going back to the customer experience, It's an emotional experience, an expression of the passion and desired purpose as felt by the customer. The digital world has perfect price competition, an informed and patient customer, and requires no less than a world-class effort of all your size or resources. As we continued our own digital transformation journey, our new motto became, "Value is only what a customer will pay for when given the choice." You must understand the customer through their eyes, coupled with sharing. And like the new customer, you must never be locked in, because as we spoke about earlier, your past key strengths become your key weaknesses. That is why ITWC, a firm that specializes in forecasts, predict spending on digital transformation over the next 5 years will go from $1 trillion in 2018 to $1.97 trillion in 2022, 3 times the growth of general IT spending. We've got all this investment circulating. Go out and get your share. But remember, it's all about the customer.